Team Bazooka, welcome back to the online academy, and this is part 2 of the defensive series, which is we're going to be talking about the first line of defense that we use in Bazooka kickboxing style, and it's movement. You have to control distance. So in this episode, we're going to teach you how to move. We can teach you how to angle, slice, and the key is going to be this triangle step footwork. We talked about it earlier in the series. I believe it was one of the first few videos, and that's what I said in that video. I said in order to learn this, it's going to help you with defense. So now we're going to show how it works and how it works effectively with that. As I mentioned in the intro video, I'm going to talk about the clinch as an important use of defense in kickboxing. Especially if you fight someone who has more of a boxing background. There's a lot of guys who transfer in kickboxing from a boxing background, or if you're an amateur, or if you're sparring, there's always guys who have better hands than you. This is where the clinch becomes effective. So now we're going to demonstrate the movement that I was talking about, and it's all about distance control. You need to control the distance between you and your opponent. So you can stay out nice and long so they can't touch you, or really close and use your clinch. Both ways could effectively defend against the punches and really defend against kicks as well. So very effective for both. So let's start with staying outside. And the key to staying outside is the triangle step. And we talked about that in episode 3. It's the easiest way to pull out and change directions, especially if you're fighting a pressure fighter. This type of triangle step, lateral movement, staying long is a very effective style. So Abiel's that pressure style. I'm gonna stay long and I'm gonna move. Watch my footwork. It's the triangle step. The attack comes, I put my feet side by side, quickly create as much space as possible, and I can decide to shuffle whichever way I want. So the opponent comes in, I come in and I shuffle. I keep my range. So let's start. Abiel comes in, I circle, and I keep my range. He comes in, staying outside. If he wants to kick even, I can stay outside of the kick. Moving, circling both ways, changing directions, never staying close. Good movement. Never being a standing target. Number 1 style for defense, never be a standing target. Always move your feet, keep distance. If they're touching you, move back a little further, move back a little quicker. Control that space between you and your opponent. Now, another effective way, clinch. Say you can't run anymore. Say they're very effective at cornering you and you find yourself ending up in the corners. You have to defend. You either move, or maybe they're countering you every time you move. This is where the clinch is going to be important. If you're in a fight, if you're sparring and your opponent has you stationary hitting, you're in a lot of trouble. You want to avoid that situation where you're just a standing target. Unless you're trying to set up a big power punch, a good counter punch, but again, you're losing on the scorecards and you're relying on a Hail Mary type of shot in order to do a lot of damage. So most effectively, if you can't run and you're in the corner, as soon as he hits, I'm grabbing and I'm clinching right away. You can grab, proper tie clinch, fight your way on the inside, any which way. A lot of times you'll see people even come over with one side, anything to avoid the punches. But because it's Bazooka kickboxing style, we have very good clinch work as well, which will be another video further down the line. But what we want to do as soon as we come into this clinch, I want to swim my hands in the middle and have my elbows planted on the chest here, and this way I can create space to knee. Okay, so there you go. Movement outside or inside. Don't be a standing target, and that's the best way to block punches, using your footwork. That concludes part 1 of our defense, and that's footwork. You got to understand distance. Fighting is about distance, and I say that with everything, whether it's striking or defense. You have to understand and you have to gauge and keep that distance between you and your partner or your opponent. So move or use the clinch as an effective way for defense. So if you like the channel, make sure you keep liking, you keep subscribing, keep sharing with all your friends, and go to bazookasquad.com to get all your bazooka gear.